This does not necessarily give you a bonus right away. We want you to be able to position around these deployables, pick them up when you want, and really make sure you can use make sure you can use the passive.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Whereas the Fabulous, you get the shield immediately. This, you still have to hit someone.
Yeah.
So we wanted that to increase its chance. So it's not only getting more damage, it's also going to be more likely to connect, which I think is actually a really big component of this buff.
Yes,
yeah,
it has felt much, much better in playtests, for sure.
Well, cool. Excited to hear about that. Excited to see it happen. So next up, we're getting into a lot of mage items, it looks like. We have a whole list of mage item changes, starting with what looks like a triple of different cost decreases. So Divine Ruin, Spear of the Mages, Spear of Desolation, all getting cost decreases.
Well, triples are best.
That's true.
As you know, Harris.
That's true.
Triples
We
are
do know.
Safest.
Right, of
Yeah,
course.
okay.
Yeah. So in the safe triple, I mean, what's going on? Why the fire sale?
Yeah, we've just seen a lot of, Smite Masters just completed. We still see all the beach decorations right behind the cameras here.
Awesome.
And we saw some mages feel pretty good, but they weren't going for a whole lot of early pen options. It was really Warlock staff dominating that first item slot. And we started to see, Amus and Cobb start to be good. And as soon as AMC starts to be good, a lot of hunters start creeping in order to match his pressure. And usually that's indicative that early mage clear and fight capability is not quite high enough. And typically that's because their flat pen options aren't quite as good as those of someone like AMC. So Divine Ruin, Spear of Magus, and Spear of Desolation all receiving just 100 gold off their cost. Mage builds in particular are typically more expensive than every other class. They pack a lot of power, especially as they scale into the late game. But we felt like with the pick rate of these options and how effective they are, especially after the time to kill update where everyone got a little bit tankier, we didn't want to necessarily increase the pen because we know how volatile that could be. So we want to see how just decreasing the cost and making these a little bit more accessible earlier in your laning phase is going to play out.
We are going to be giving mages some power elsewhere, though.
True. It looks like we're moving into kind of the world of the Rod of Tahuti. So we have all kinds of things. There's power increases for both Rod and Calamitous Rod, and then Perfected Rod gets just a little more than that. So let's go through the first two and the power increases. Why is Rod getting all the love?
A lot of the same reasoning that Aggro just went through here. So this was just an item that, it should be the premier damaging item for mages. It's been a little bit undertuned lately. With the new glyphs and some skittishness around the power in the game, it came down. So we're just bringing it back up. I think it's going to be in a lot better place now.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfected Rod is the new glyph.
The shiny Season 7, or Mid-Season.
Right, for Mid-Season, And similar thoughts on this as a couple of the other buffs today. Just didn't quite have the impact that we were hoping for in its initial launch. So looking to give it some extra, utility. Really, it's more of the utility version of the Rod as opposed to the damaging one. Yeah, just the raw. You're going to get this ability is going to actually be able to affect your ultimate cooldown as well. And it's going to be able to proc more often. So if you're going to be able to lean into this cooldown option, we want you to be able to go all in on it.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe you throw a Bobble in there, get some really crazy low cooldowns.
Yeah,
never know. We'll see.
Yeah.
You never know.
You won't get 60% from Bobble, but you might get close between stacking items like this and Chronos Pen and other things along with it.
Yeah. Really layer it.
Didn't they nerf it to 50?
Why we kept Bobble.
Apparently there's a bug.
The reality is as well with Perfected Rod
didn't change the
and
text.
Calamitous Rod of Tahuti that these are effectively 3,600 gold items.
Expensive.
You have to, and it just didn't feel like Perfected Rod in particular was worth 3,600 gold.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is a step in the right direction there.
Glad to hear it. Well, it looks like the last one here is Polynomicon, just getting some decreased passive, kind of, the cooldown.
I tried to get them to go with the Joust map.
They wouldn't. What to do with this one. This is one of, every mage player loved to play with Polynomicon.
Just a little fun buff. As a treat.
Just getting a little bit more often, I think is going to make it feel a lot better without necessarily completely overshadowing other typical mage options.
Got it.
But Poly is a lot of effective damage that you get to add to your kit in a way that other items can't really match. So went with a little bit of a smaller end buff for an item that we haven't seen a whole lot recently.
Cool. Well, sounds good. That kind of does it for the mage area. Moving into physical items you can bonk people with. Starting with Boomba's Hammer. Looks like that's getting some changes as well.
Yeah, kind of in the same vein as Perfected Rod of Tahuti, now being able to proc on your ultimate ability once again.
Ooh, yeah.
Keep in mind that this is after a change to bring that proc time from 1 second off of your cooldowns to half a second off of your cooldown. So, once we tried a lot of things with this item. It continued to be very, very strong.
Got it.
It wasn't until we removed it from ultimates and then also put it to 0.5 seconds that everyone was like,
no more
yeah,
Bumbas in
and
Duel
like,
chat.
okay,
That's
now
gonna be
it's a
weird.
little bit too far, and we recognize that. And so now we're giving it a little bit of the strength back. With it only being 0.5 seconds, feels like much safer to allow it to affect your ultimate cooldown. And hopefully it can go, was at the top of the meta to absolutely no play rate. We're hoping for a little Goldilocks
Yeah, right
situation.
back in the middle there.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, next up, Yoten's Hammer. Yoten's coming. Yoten's is just getting the love as well, and it's just a lot of physical power increases, just bringing that physical power back into the battleground.
Yes, so since the 9.5 update, which there has been quite a few meta shifts from that.
True.
Yeah, no
in
starters in
general,
Duel.
the goal was to nerf burst.
I'm gonna go grab a grabble chat. Give me like 2
Burst
seconds.
First being these traditional mages, which
Stomach
we got
is-
some buffs in today, and the ability-based assassins started to falter. The basic attack-focused assassins are in the prime of their lives right now.
Living it up.
Right.
They're
So,
vibing.
if you're a Kali or Mercury main, you're out there shredding it. But we
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
to give the other assassins some chances to catch up. So what we're doing here is just small power adjustments across the entire mace tree. So that's going to be across Jotun's Wrath and both of its glyphs, as well as Brawlers, Crusher, and then, so all of those getting power, and then finishing it off with Titan's Bane, which is getting some slightly different buffs, but still some buffs. So this tree that really is just the Assassin's core items.
Yeah.
Small power buffs across the board, which, in many cases you're building more than one of these, so that's going to stack up.
Yeah.
And then Titan's Bane, which is fallen off as your percent pen option. So trying to get this to better compete with the other percent pen options available to assassins with a cost decrease and a lower cooldown on the passive, making sure it's proccing more often.
Yeah.
Titan's Bait's good. People should buy this item now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
coming. It's
I
back
think
up
this
there.
item is really, really good.
We as the design team believe that is under perceived.
Underutilized even.
Sometimes people don't believe us when we say that, but try it.
True. Yeah, might as well try it out. What's the worst that can happen? You lose a game. Unless you're playing against me, then you'll win either way. Don't worry about it. So next up, avoiding that, Shadow Steel Shuriken. Looks like it's getting some changes as well.
Yeah, so we kind of have a bunch of healing adjustments here.
These might look strange, but there is a reason for them.
We're
Yeah,
working
exactly.
On it. We'll get there.
We're going to go through a bunch of healing items here. We recently did a change. I believe that was in mid-season to adjust the time at which not brawling debuff applies to you and how long anti-heal applies to you so that you didn't overlap.
Yeah.
We hit the most common things. Everyone felt pretty good about it. Felt fair. Didn't feel like healers are all of a sudden going to take off. And so now we feel pretty safe to go ahead and make this uniform across the game.
Got it.
Shadow Steel Shuriken, for some of the items that feel a little bit underwhelming.
And they have
we're
like a
pairing
whole
these with
thing
buffs
about
to compensate.
Which is all of these.
healing
Yeah, which is all
debuff.
of these, right? Because these were the least purchased
Are they
anti-heal
reverting
options,
it?
which is why they weren't in the first pass.
Right.
So Shadow Steel Shuriken gets a little bit of attack speed, trading off to match that duration. Tainted Steel, Tainted Breastplate, and Tainted Amulet, all getting the exact same treatment, going from their
Tainted
durations
underwear.
down to 5 seconds, and getting a couple of buffs. Tainted Steel starter gets cost decrease. Tainted Breastplate.
Iris
gets a
could
little bit of
never
physical
figure out what to do
protection,
with healing.
and Tainted Amulet gets a little bit of magical protection. All in that same vein of these are the under-purchased anti-heal options. Now it's more consistent across the game.
Yeah.
But they could use a little bit of help anyways, and we're giving it to it.
Yeah, one of those where this was going to happen as the natural progression of what happened in midseason, but these items also they're not really showing out, so giving them that extra little bit of spice to help it make it look like, oh, this isn't just a crazy buff or nerf to all these items that were already kind of, so.
Yeah,
cool
a lot of
stuff.
shifts. A lot of shifts.
A lot of
today.
shifts,
Yeah.
very shifty.
Yeah,
It's a shifty update.
patch.
It sure is.
But all right, so next up we have masks. Now masks also got a lot of attention in the mid-season update. So
thank you.
what's going on with them? Starting with Rangdas.
Yeah, both of these definitely getting a little bit of adjustment. I think that we're pretty happy with how they feel overall in comparison to before mid-season, and that they just need a little bit of tuning in order to kind of hone in on that. Rangda's getting a pretty important bug fix that is now checking for power from items passives. So things like Transcendence weren't counting towards your power stacks. That's going to make a big difference. But we also got a lot of feedback that the physical power requirement was simply too hard to reach.
Right.
So we're reducing that a little bit. It's going to be 50 power less total. So 10 power per stack.
Yeah.
You want to get to 5 stacks. We feel like this is going to put it in a much more fair area for you to be able to reach it without having to totally commit your build. Not even just, you're still going to need to commit to damage items, which is what we want.
Exactly.
But you don't have to commit to sorting by highest power, and I don't care if my character doesn't use Erendite that well. I need it because it's 75 power. We wanted to make sure that
Observe
you
these.
build 5 power items normally and reach it. That was really the goal. And this, in conjunction with the bug fix, in conjunction with
Observe these
the buffs
ankles,
to all races,
Kakarot.
I think that you're going to be able to reach it much more easily.
Awesome. Yeah, good to hear too, because it's one of those items that it's fun to pick up an item, but when that item then dictates that you don't really get to choose a build, I can see why it'd be hard. So that'll help a lot.
Yep.
So Lono's Mask too. A lot going on here, a lot of text. What's going on with Lono's Mask? Kind of the same deal?
Yeah, very much the same deal. Just trying to reach your protection requirement a little bit more easily.
Oh my god.
And again, checking for stacks from items and item
When I
passes
stubbed my
and all that
toe,
kind
I
of
took
stuff.
off my
You're
whole
also getting a little bit of a
pinky
preview
toenail.
here for changes that all support items are going to be going through, which is this GP5, and we can talk about that more in a moment. But just making sure that these feel attainable without being too easy to get. You know, if you can just splash 3 protection items and get enough stacks, that's going to lead to some abuse cases. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this, and Rang does, to make sure that we feel like the trade-off that you're having to make in your build is appropriate for how strong these starter upgrades are. Because Rangda's Mask and Lono's Mask, stat-wise, feel like some of, if not the most powerful starter items in the game.
We're trying to avoid the best of both world scenarios, where you can essentially build very tanky and very damaged and use this item to kind of edge out even more stats. So we were a little bit overly cautious with it on the round, as seems to be a theme. But now going a little bit more powerful, still think we'll be in a good place. But I do expect to see these items a good bit more.
Yeah,
me too.
These are pretty important shifts, and I think we'll be safe away from that totally high power and high tank situation, but I think we'll definitely see more of these, and they have a lot of potential.
Yeah, well, as we approach Halloween, masks more and more common, so definitely good to keep an eye on those, and we'll definitely hear y'all's feedback on it. So next up, we're moving into kind of a starter chunk.
Off Transcendence.
Between support and starter. Moving into
They're both right.
Yeah, they are both right. A support starter chunk of items, starting with kind of a big shift to a handful of them that we have kind of touched on before, if you want to get into that.
So all of the upgrades
So
for
far.
support items, including Lono's Mask,
Yep.
will be now upgraded at level 15 again.
Yep.
We tried to do this in mid-season.
7
We
items.
found some potential abuse cases with people skipping starters and going 5x benevolence and stuff for the GP5. So we have implemented 2 big changes here today. One is to bring all of the level 15s back. So that'll be Sentinel's Embrace, Sentinel's Boon,
I don't know what
Compassion,
you're
Animosity,
talking
War
about.
Banner, Spartan Flag, and Lono's Mask, all upgradable at level 15. A lot of stuff for supports in this update.
7 of them.
Between the earring buffs, the mask changes, which you're pinning on a non-traditional support, as well as the all of these being upgraded.
Yeah, how often do you think he wears these?
However, now all of them,
Things
all
that
of the ones
sweater.
that generate gold, which is pretty much all of them,
Maybe he's just
are
got like
also
8
going to have an
sweaters.
additional qualifier on that gold gain that states you must be the lowest gold total player on your team to get.
Yeah.
So these items will no longer be advisable to buy in multiples.
Yep.
There's also some additional protections, like with Compassion. Compassion, we have the gold. The GP5 now also applies. We also made an adjustment to the passive where having 2 Compassions in the area will not have any additional effect. You used to be able to stack those, so effectively you're rerouting damage to aggro, and then I'm rerouting it from him to me and mitigating it again, and that was quite powerful. And that was that was the main concern when we launched this in the mid-season. So removing that ability as well. So these items should be significantly stronger for all traditional supports, and hopefully the more negative experience cases will be significantly decreased in their likelihood.
Got it.
Yeah, you got to have the lowest gold on your team. You know, you still get all the other stats from these items. If for some reason you are not the lowest gold on your team, it's just kind of like flicking the switch on the GP5 meter. You know? If I've got the lowest, turn it on. As soon as I jump above someone else, turn it down. So let me farm my mid waves alone, and that way you can get your GP5.
Excellent. So you're
gold for 5, and then even the boon, which, you know, this one might come as a bit of a surprise because boon wasn't really being abused in this way, but we wanted to go ahead and get this effect in for safety.
Yeah.
So even though this is a different trigger, it's not just GP5, you do still need to continue to get assists. We didn't want multiple people getting this, multiple people getting the gold while one person clears. So again, just for safety, especially with the level 15 combo, because a lot of the feedback was, well, if we changed it on Benevolence, then they would just buy Embrace. And if we changed it on Embrace, they would just buy Boon. Whichever way you could get that much gold starting at level 15 and pull ahead was potentially going to lead to these slow metas where people would just try to play super defensively and stalemate and then get this big advantage in the late game. So overall, very exciting for early game supports.
Sounds good. Early game supports and me playing Hunter and being 0 and 8, because I'll definitely, you know, I don't know how to farm. Cool. So that actually does it for items.
Are you good, Harrison? I feel like you've been going through a tough stretch.
I haven't played Smite in a while, and I got back into it the other day.
It had a rough session.
I had a rough. It was a rough night, you know.
Hey man, just gotta
get
believe
through
in yourself.
get a few arenas or something.
I just gotta hop
shake
in.
the rust
I gotta
off.
hop in and play with more of y'all, because usually y'all are nice, and y'all will be like, "Hey, buddy, you're supposed to be on this side of the jungle already, and I'll be like, all right, cool. So
Yeah, you come to
anyway.
a playtest, you pretty much get a free coaching session.
Exactly.
There you go.
So I need Lerma to beat me into shape.
She will do that.
She will.
She will.
But that's it for the items. We have some god balance to get into, though, starting with kind of I'm always scared when we have to talk about this. Nox. Nox is.
Don't get too excited.
Don't get. Okay. Not excited already. What's going on with Nox?
I don't want to oversell this, but this is yet again another minion damage adjustment on Nox. So playing it safe. One of the things we wanted to just acknowledge here is that this god is being mostly played as a support.
Yep.
In Conquest, in high level.
Got it, yeah.
Which is important, and that's cool. And there's a lot of other support buffs that potentially Nox can benefit a lot from.
Yeah.
So we were hesitant to buff her any further. Especially as now she might be with all these changes, she might be a even more viable high skill level support in Conquest.
Got it.
And that's really cool for her because this is a cool flex god that we
good
don't see
shift.
a lot of over the years, kind of struggled. However, this god is still a complete nightmare in every other mode. And she does an incredible amount of damage, and is very evasive, has an extremely strong escape, and some of the most powerful lockdown in the game. That's been something that she's dominated Arena for many, many years. So we are finally using our new non-Conquest tech to do we have a couple of these today. Some interesting shifts where buffing a god in a way that might help it in Conquest, but using the non-Conquest as a way, as a safety valve to prevent them from becoming overly frustrating in the non-Conquest modes where they tend to excel already.
Yeah, like Nox in Arena, killing me and then jumping into somebody and vanishing into the mist.
I cannot believe
I play
how
Duel
many
so much,
times that
I
god gets
forgot.
away from me in Arena.
So
I'm like,
bad.
oh, I've
Nox
definitely
can't
got her
do
this
that.
time.
Yeah.
Nope,
criminal.
gets away.
You fire
it
off
is-
like a Persephone or an Atlas ult and just whoop. Gone.
So the most frustrating thing about Nox is that escape and that lockdown. So
Yeah.
we're increasing her cooldown slightly, so she cannot lock you down as often. She cannot escape as often.
it.
It's gonna, we have seen some pretty noticeable data effects from these changes. So we would expect this to
God, Smite game always has such a
smooth
weird
out
thing
Nox's
in the chat.
frustration a little bit. I still expect she'll be, as usual, she'll still probably be quite good in those modes, but a little less frustrating.
Yeah, cool. Well, that all sounds good. Excited to hear that. Next up, Janice also getting some buffs, it looks like.
Yeah, just we noticed that he was really lagging behind in the base physical protection department, and even though you don't want to be getting hit that often anyways on Giannis, minion damage, that kind of stuff, that can all add up pretty quickly. So just giving him a little bit of a buff on his on his base physical protections, and then the smallest little tiny buff to Unstable Vortex just to help him clear just a little tiny bit. Feels like itemization really isn't in his wheelhouse right now either, and we want to acknowledge that will affect a god coming in and out of the meta, but Giannis has just been absent for a little bit too long, so just giving him a slight nudge up to viability.
Got it. Well, cool. Next up, Raijin. Looks like Percussive Storm getting a little bit of a buff as well.
Yeah, you're going to see some similar themes here. We have a couple mages that are actually generally perceived as quite good because but these mages tend to be played only by pros and pretty struggle pretty much everywhere else. Even right now, the pros aren't interested in them either. So that's a good sign that they could use something.
Yeah, they could use a little tune.
So because of the 9.5 changes to tankier minions as well as tankier gods, mages have struggled a little bit to clear and to kill their opponents. So these are a couple of the ones who we feel like were hit the most by it.
Yep.
So we got the Janus getting his main damaging ability being buffed. We also have Raijin getting a similar buff for similar reasons. And then we're going to move on to another god who doesn't quite have the same buffs, but the reasoning behind it is generally the same, struggling for the same reasons.
Yes.
Well, that struggling god is Thoth, and I mean, Dead Reckoning getting a little bit of a buff as well.
Yeah, that's his passive, just making sure that you can get your flat pen from your passive online a little bit earlier. This is, bar none, one of the best mage passives in the game. It's just not valued very well by a lot of our player base because it's hidden and it's stat based and all that kind of stuff. But I think that you will feel getting your flat pen a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
And then Final Judgment, it gets to an okay spot in the late game, but right at level 5, you feel like it's not quite as lethal as you would like it to be. So really only bringing up that bottom end and leaving it the very same once you get to level 20 so that, no one likes to remember them getting one shot over the wall by Final Judgment.
Yeah.
I like remembering doing it. That was very fun, but having it hit you wasn't great.
Yeah.
And this way it'll be the exact same late game, just a little bit better in the early stages.
Yeah, just bringing it online a smidge earlier, so it really, you feel good getting that 5, hitting that whole button, and being like, all right, now it's time to shoot somebody over the wall and scream.
Right.
So, cool. Next up, Scotty getting a couple buffs kind of across a few abilities as well. So more dangerous Ice Tickle Spears and Doggos.
Yeah, moving on to some hunters here. There's going to be another theme in today's patches, which is we're going to be doing a lot of adjustments on gods who use roots a lot. So in the mid-season, we reclassified roots into hard CC.
Yeah.
We wanted to decrease the likelihood of long CC chains.
Yeah.
And roots were very good at that.
They were.
Especially when properly timed well, when the god had already been DR'd by some other CCs, and then you go ahead and follow up with a root. Really was just, you know, the nail in the coffin for many gods.
Oh, yeah.
So we are quite happy with that change, decreasing the total chain CC across the whole game. But it did negatively affect a couple gods. No one really plummeted. A couple gods had some small decreases. So you're going to see a variety of different damage and utility buffs. And in one rare instance, we're actually going to increase some root duration CC back. We generally don't want to do that very often, though, because that is a little antithetical to the whole point of nerfing CC across the game.
Yeah.
But there is one god on today's update show that feels especially reliant on that. So Scotty, a hunter. So, you know, that kind of saves us some time to discuss. We're going to talk about this a couple times.
Yeah.
Scotty, as a hunter, generally not perceived as very strong, just does a lot of damage output, not a lot of utility, but she does have a root on that ultimate, which brought her down a little bit. And her Piercing Cold, which is a kind of, her standard line attack, was a little low compared to most other hunters, especially with the 9.5 changes to minions and gods.
Yeah,
right?
damage.
A lot of similar themes today that we're going to be building on. So getting some buffs there, as well as Winter's Grasp, which, when you look at the total damage from that ultimate, it can look like a lot if you get hit by every tick from both sources, but it's extremely rare for that to happen. So getting some scaling buffs there just to make sure that if you do get hit by a couple of ticks, it's still something that you notice.
Yeah, it doesn't feel totally useless if you don't land the entire thing. So crazy how when you release a huge mid-season update that shakes the entire tree, how many little things you get to go back and be like, oh, we never, that's
plenty
new.
to do.
Yeah,
plenty to do.
Super cool. Next up, Neath, a classic, a favorite, also getting a little bit of buff along with Spirit
And we kept
Arrow.
the dev text on this one.
Roots nerfed.
Roots
nerfed.
nerfed.
That already happened. It already
just
got
to be
there.
a note to us, but you all can see that one too. But
shared that
when
with
you
you.
think of gods with roots, I think she comes up like
Near the top.
Neath's root is a focal point of her kit.
Yep, exactly. So just making sure that she can use it a little bit more often now that it won't be as potent as it used to be. Not wanting to bring down the late game cooldown because it's a god that typically does buy a lot of cooldown reduction, but just making it easier for her to establish lane pressure early on in the game.
Of course.
And decreasing its mana cost a little bit because even though she, again, typically buys Transcendence, her early game can be a little bit awkward with if you're not great at managing your mana. So just making it a little bit easier to use this ability more often and then not cause you to run out of mana for using it more often.
She's also got some new competition in that hunter role, so give her a little buff to make sure she keeps up.
Yeah. Good luck.
Excited to talk about that later.
Yeah.
So next up, kind of
wanna see
moving
the new
into
god.
or out of the hunter area into Guan Yu. Looks like Guan Yu also getting a little bit of a buff, just some cooldown touches on Conviction and Warrior's Will.
We wanted to make sure we got something for every role.
Yeah.
We were looking at a lot of the warriors, and they were a little bit more difficult to assess as far as who's ready for buffs and nerfs right now. But we did pinpoint Guan Yu. He doesn't have any roots, but he has fallen off quite a bit over the year. He was really strong a year or so ago.
I remember.
Took some big nerfs there, and we're just going to walk those back slowly. Guan Yu kind of has a low cooldown theme, as does some of the mid-season and recent patch. So we wanted to just play into that a little bit more, make sure he can really use his Conviction and Warrior's Will very often, weave that into his basic attacks. He's a really fun god to play. He really flows super well, especially once you really get that cooldown flow.
How did you manage to get paint?
Just a little bit of leaning into his strength to help him shine. And, maybe we see if we can bring him back in that solo lane.
Yeah, I agree. Guan Yu is one of the people that actually kind of got me into this. I remember getting my first, the first skin from a convention I went to, the little card. It's one of the very first
that's
things
a
I
really
got.
dope convention skin.
Yeah.
It's black and purple.
Is that
black and purple.
2016?
Yeah,
Is that the
I
2016
think so.
skin?
Yeah.
That'd be good trivia if you remember the exact year.
I'm pretty sure it
I
was
don't remember,
2016.
So throw that in the chat. But yeah, so I love to see that. Next up, Set. Looks like getting some changes, and Sandstorm getting a little nudge.
Yeah, this is the one this might be my favorite buff in the whole patch. Set is one of those gods that is really, really good in the early game.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oftentimes can get off to these incredible leads, but then as soon as you get into the team fighting stages later on, it's very hard for you to pick your spots. So, and his whole kit is so dependent on Sandstorm because it turns your ultimate from this good movement speed stim and all that kind of stuff to oh my god, this guy is healing and spawning a million clones and doing all these crazy things. This buff to just take it from physical damage mitigation on Sandstorm to damage mitigation against all damage.
Right.
Makes him a significantly better team fighter when he's going to be getting hit by magical and physical damage without making his laning phase against, other warriors or when he's ganking, other ganking a lane against physical characters.
Yeah.
It doesn't make that any better.
Yeah.
And so I think that there's a really cool area to try and get him to be a better god in those team fight scenarios. I'm excited to see what it does, for sure.
Let me throw in a little disclaimer before we go to Aries, which is that I know it looks like we're buffing a lot of traditional like SPL gods, and sometimes the Smite community's memory can really get frozen in time, and people are probably imagining, well, Thoth and Raijin and Seth, these are all top tier. None of these gods have been played in Pro League in like over a year. Like
they've been
none of
very
them.
low.
So I know it might seem like just recently they were stomping all over the place, but all of these gods are pretty hard to play. All these gods have suffered a good bit from the 9.5 changes.
Yeah.
So although this might look a little scary, these gods do, they need it. And they maybe needed it for a while, but we took some time, really made sure they needed it before we did it. So hoping to see a few of them come back, especially in the Pro League where these are the types of gods that tend to shine.
Yeah, kind of falling off a little bit.
Now we can talk about a more casual god that I love, which is Aries.
Yeah, could you guess? Aries, like you just said. So, I mean, Aries also getting some buffs kind of across the board, it looks like a little bit. Dive into it.
So this is a revert from the pre-9.5.
Got it.
So now that everyone's a little tankier, it's okay to give Aries some of his god damage back.
Just a little bit.
Then we also have another conquest, non-conquest shift. So no escape is, much more powerful in non-conquest modes. It tends to be, right? It beats a lot more. You're just more likely to hit more targets more times.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arena combos.
So what we're doing here is kind of the first example of a very literal shift where he's getting 10 seconds off of his cooldown, but we're also increasing the ultimate cooldown in non-conquest by an appropriate percentage to essentially keep it at the same. We wanted to keep clean numbers. We didn't want to do 28% or whatever. So we did round that up to 30. So he is actually getting a 2-second nerf in non-conquest as well. But this effectively buffs him in conquest while keeping his alt cooldown at the level he wanted.
How did you get paint all over your butt?
A really cool way to use this new tech. We have.
Yeah, that new feature.
Very excited about this buff and what we can do with things like this in the future. I mean, you look at No Escape and it doesn't feel like a 100-second cooldown level strength in Conquest, but
at least one more change
like
this
like AJ said, it can very easily show up that way in non-conquest. And I did see a lot of feedback on, I can't believe Aries was one of the gods that got a non-conquest nerf, and so I think that some players might be surprised that we're keeping his number in non-conquest about the same.
Yeah.
But I believe that he was the most resilient to his non-conquest nerfs on the first pass, that he stayed the closest to his previous.
I don't recall seeing feedback about people not believing Aries is good in non-conquest.
Maybe
this god has been probably one of the
particular
top 5 winningest gods in Arena for all of
Winningest.
Smite,
Yep.
right? And that spreads well to Joust and Slash as well. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
He's good.
Yeah, the Wombo combo potential is incredible. There's more than a handful of other gods that if you land a half decent, I mean, even a 2 or 3 member Aries ult, you can wipe a team basically. So
Easily.
I super believe it. Next up, we got a good boy on the list, Cerberus, also getting some buffs. Been good. Gets a little buff as a treat. And Spirit of Death, Soul Expulsion, Stygian Torment. I mean, 3 abilities all getting buffs. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I think the passive, with all the healing changes in mind, you're taking a look at his passive, and this is a cool, unique identity that is, there are lots of gods who anti-heal with their abilities, but Cerberus is the one who absorbs that healing, and we wanted to kind of play up that unique aspect of his kit a little bit, and also, like AJ said, a god that probably has a lot of SPL PTSD for some people, but you know that it's been a little bit. I know Mike did play a Cerberus support game at Masters, so thanks PBM for that, making our messaging worse. But overall,
He's viable.
Yeah,
Polar Bear
one pick, by the way. We just think that he could use a little bit of help, and these are some good places.
Kind of an all-around buff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of everything.
Yeah, just a little sprinkle
Which
of
we
everything.
don't. I wouldn't say we do that often, but I think
Yep.
this was a reasonable place to do it, and it fit well with the kit.
Yeah, well, you need more than one buff. There's more than one head, It'd be like giving it one treat. Doesn't seem fair, so...
You ready to go to the next god?
My God, these are terrible. This is terrible work from both of you. I get the Cerberus joke on my right, and then this Kumikarna pun transition on my left. What am I supposed to do with this?
This is what the people want, Aggro. So I've been doing this for a while, right?
That's true. That's right. Yeah, I apologize.
yelling
Please
at?
continue
I don't tell you how to
with your
cast.
bit.
My feelings are hurt.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
Kumikarna.
Kumikarna, so he's been on the low end for a while. There's been a lot of discussion about buffs and bigger changes potentially.
Yeah.
He also has a root, so he fits into that category.
Of course.
We would look for a couple different ways to buff Kumikarna. Again, kind of a unique way. So first of all, this passive.
Yeah.
Pretty big buffs here. The cooldown we cut by an entire minute.
An entire minute.
Which it's very, very long cooldown.
Yeah,
so it's still quite long. But that's going to make him certainly harder to kill. And he's going to respawn at higher health as well when he is not properly killed from that passive. Again, it's one of his unique things, just like we mentioned about Cerberus, so we wanted to play this up a little bit more.
Yeah, of course.
Throwback, which is kind of a very important ability for Kumba for both damage and poke and gap closing and escaping. Going to let that scale with cooldown into the late game.
Cool.
Which should just give him quite an additional bit of flexibility and utility.
Yeah.
And then finally, Epic Uppercut, which is kind of like budget Neja alt.
Oh my god, another
really
buff?
just want to take out one person.
Yeah.
But people are tankier now, so it's easier to survive from things like that.
Yeah.
So I believe we had Neja buffs already. We did have those already, right? Are we doing those again? I think we might have done them once before, and then we might still do them again. So apologies if that's spoilers. For
Yeah,
the
I think
future,
that's just a spoiler. Yeah, I know for a fact that's just a spoiler. Yeah.
Okay, my bad. Anyway,
Fun spoilers for chat today.
Epic Uppercut getting some damage there too, just to make sure when you pick Kumba, that's one of his main game plans. Isolate someone, bring that target down. We want to make sure that that has a better chance to work. So.
And now he's just unquestionably sleepier. Right?
That's true.
He gets sleepy 1 minute.
I'm falling
past
asleep
increase.
watching this.
Yeah, he's
By
sleepier now.
33%.
Yep.
I feel that. I turned 26 like a month ago, and I feel like I also got an increased sleepiness thing.
There you go.
Definitely
We
there
always
for
get sleepy. Everybody.
forever.
If anybody's not, tell me how.
Yeah, true. Send that into us. Next up, Terra, also getting buffed. Terra's already buffed. She just needs
Oh my god, every Guardian is just getting buffed.
That's pretty good. But she
Thank
does
you.
need a buff in terms of her actual
Gameplay.
in-game
Yeah,
strength.
that's fair.
Again, a god that was affected by the root changes, not getting any sort of duration change to her root, but instead trying to let her use it a little bit more often. Force of nature is the dash that sets up the root, so want to let her use that a little bit more often. And then Monolith itself, making sure that when you can shatter it, it's going to deal a little bit more damage and make it a little bit harder to shatter. When she was at her peak SPL strength, this was a common suggestion in order to put a little bit more counterplay at the high level.
Of course.
But because she has received a lot of other nerfs since that point and decreased in strength outside of just that setup and root, we felt like it was pretty safe to make Monolith a little bit more reliable as well.
Also might give her a little bit more solo flex potential.
True.
That'd be interesting.
Which I think Terra is generally seen as like not a do-nothing solo guardian, right? She has to use her abilities very proactively. You got to use multiple at a time for them to be effective. So I like the kind of bruiser Terra, so this might help that too.
A lot of good micro-macro play. All right, so we've been talking about so many roots, it reminded me that Sylvanas is up next, actually. So also some buffs for Sylvanas.
He has a root. He's made of roots.
Yeah.
His name is Grover. This is the one.
This is the one?
This is the one that we decided to buff the root duration.
There it
And that's
is.
because of a very specific combo feature within Sylvanas, right? You want to hit that root, then you want to get the pull.
Yeah.
We didn't really want to buff any AoE roots. We didn't really want Terra's root lasting
of
longer,
course.
right? That can hit whole teams.
Right.
So this was the one we chose to focus on. Kumba, he's got multiple forms of CC, plenty.
Yep.
So he doesn't necessarily need that either. So that one is very important here on Sylvanas. And we've also got a decreased cooldown in the Nature's Grasp. That was like 26 seconds not that long ago. And we've just been bringing it down bit by bit to really like,
The people want more pulls.
They do.
They want
Oh my
to
god,
pull
every
people
Guardian
as
is
often
just
as
getting
possible.
we
buffed.
want to play into the god's strengths, right? So that's one of Sylvanas' unique features. It's a tough skill shot to hit still.
It is.
So
It is.
we want to make sure that it's effective and something he can do often.
Yeah, something you can really get those attempts at. It's hard to learn every 26 seconds.
Yep.
That's like my
A few
memory
more
span.
gods.
So yes, we are going through a few more gods. Next up, Bacchus, also getting some buffs. Looks like, again, kind of an across-the-board thing. Well, really more of a belly flop and belch thing, I guess.
Yeah, similar to Cerberus, Bacchus and Cerberus, I think, are two guardians whose identity is that they can threaten you with their damage.
Yeah,
and a big part of
they can be.
9.5 was making less frontliners be able to threaten you as a
Oh my,
backliner.
is
with
every
their
Guardian getting buffed?
and we're very happy with where it ended up.
Yeah.
We just feel like those two gods in particular have a little bit of room to be slightly more threatening without reaching back to their pre-9.5 levels. So overall, this isn't going to be any damage for Bacchus, two gods at the very least, but instead allowing him to be more threatening with his utility, not just his damage. So decreasing the mana cost on belly flop, letting him do it more often.
Yeah.
A spicy change for Belch of the Gods to help him clear the wave a little bit better. Yeah, he
only damage.
Yeah, he had he ate something spicy before.
Got it.
And now it hurts more.
Yeah,
to
big
lane
burrito or
fire.
something.
Yeah, exactly. Only if they're using the correct skin, of course.
True.
But yeah, we don't think that this is going to make him a premier pressure support, but he was at the very, very bottom of, hey, I'm a hunter who needs a little bit of help clearing. I need my support to help me hit the wave. It's like, oh, great, I've got Bacchus. Like, he's not going to do a whole lot. Helping him in that regard, as well as increasing his stun duration, just felt like this was a little bit too short throughout the game. 1 second is very, very short.
I will let that
long
blow on a
channel
sword.
stun that takes a long time to go off.
Yeah.
Also requires passive to be stacked to be effective.
A lot of boxes that need to be ticked in
Lot
order for
plays
that
into it,
stun
of course.
to go off. So felt like we could afford to give that a little bit of strength. And then he also loses some mana cost there. And in conjunction with all of the itemization going from a different duration to 5 seconds to match the anti-heal duration, a bunch of gods are getting that treatment as well. And Bacchus is just the first on the list here. So making sure that, again, we don't want any overlap or gaps between when you are officially considered out of god combat and being anti-healed. We want those to be perfectly aligned.
Not the most exciting buff, just increasing by 1 second on a debuff, but it is a good standardization that makes sure that it plays well with the brawling mechanic.
Yep.
Bacchus getting a lot of other buffs, but the other gods being done a little bit more for consistency's sake. But also, none of these gods are particularly scary overpowered right now. Cucullin got a lot more play in the Masters LAN than we had anticipated at the time we had written this buff. But again, it's a very small buff that's also very specifically used for counterplays. So Sobek, Chang'e, Cucullin, and Medusa, all going to get that increased healing reduction debuff duration by 1 second, so.
Making it nice and uniform.
Yeah, nice and flat across the board. So that actually will do it for our god balance and the item balance. That's the balance section, y'all. That was a lot of stuff. You got a couple little teasers as a treat. It was a good time. Thank y'all both so much for all of that.
Of course.
Next up, we have some community news, but a fun little video to lead us into that. Excited to see y'all there.
Community news?
I am off to seek wisdom.
What is this?
Interesting thing that is.
What the fuck is this?
If I didn't have this special hat, how else would you know I'm a chef?
I mean, come on. How great is that, right? That has been an epic to get that into Smite, and we're so happy that it's on the way. We'll go over that skin a little later, but I mean, bun hats. Everybody knows about bun hats. So now we're into some community news. Let's talk about event stuff. First up, Smite Night. We have 5v5 Conquest and 2x Favor coming up this weekend, so look out for that. Always love seeing people show up and show out for Smite Night. But we also wanted to let y'all know that this is going to be one of the last times that we actually do a full team required Smite Night. We've heard a lot of feedback about how sometimes it can be hard to pull a full team for that kind of stuff. So we're responding to that feedback by moving that out of the rotation for a while. And, if y'all want to see it again, obviously always let us know what y'all think. But we hear what y'all are saying. We always hear what y'all are saying, and we appreciate the feedback. Excited for more Smite Nights coming up, including in 9.8, we're going to have a little classic 4v4 Siege and some Egyptian Clash, it looks like, on the horizon. So excited to see y'all coming out for those. Excited to keep doing it. We also wanted to call out, we talked about in the last section, Sphinx's Bauble. That's been such a hot ticket item. It's hugely game changing, but one of the effects that it had that y'all haven't liked quite as much was that it moved away from some of our mode of the days that y'all love, some of the cooldown.
Oh my god, he says y'all a lot.
So we have fixed the issue that made all of that happen, and moving into 9.8, you're going to see some of your favorite mode of the days come back that are cooldown based. So look out for all of those that have been out of rotation for several weeks now, because they are on the way back, on the horizon, starting next week after Tuesday's update.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
To continue, I also want to shout out DKO. In the Smite universe, for those of you who haven't known, there is DKO, Divine Knockout, a new game that we're making, and it's going really well. The closed alpha is well underway, and we're super excited to continue to invite people in, to continue to see how y'all react react to the game and to push towards getting it live when we can. Make sure that you sign up to participate in DKO at divineknockout.com. We're super excited for this. You can wishlist it on Steam, Epic, PlayStation, all favorite platforms, and just keep up with it.
Actually,
There's a
looks
lot of
kinda
fun to
fun.
be
I'll
had.
definitely play it.
So for news, follow at DKO Game everywhere on all the social medias. And again, sign up for that alpha because it's an incredibly fun game. I have been following it as closely as I can, and I think it's going to be even more fun in the next couple months as we push towards getting it out of this alpha stage. So super excited for all of that. In SPL news, big shout out to the Jade Dragons for winning the Summer Masters event. It was so awesome. I hope for those of you who didn't catch it, make sure to go back and hit those VODs. It was incredible. A lot of fun times had. What a great summer league it was. And, they're in the break period now, so a couple weeks we'll move into phase 3. But again, shout out to the Jade Dragons for that. That was super huge. Whew, and a lot of talking. So now I'm joined by 2 new beautiful cast members here. Excited to bring them on. We have Lermy and Clumsy. How y'all doing?
So good. I have been watching the patch notes, obviously, from the other room, and these changes are so exciting, you guys.
Yeah.
And that's not even to mention what we've got coming up next, because that, is maybe even more exciting.
I feel like you have good reason to be excited. I feel like
yeah.
a lot of people do.
Yeah. So first up, quality of life is getting kind of a fun little bump. So for those of you who love the default god arts, I don't know why you wouldn't. I love them as well. We're working on bringing back avatars based on default god arts. This is something that we haven't really been able to get into since season 3. So we're behind a little bit, but we're going back to where we left off. We're catching up, starting by releasing a whole handful. I mean, you know what? I'm going to rattle it off. Susanoo, Fafnir, Erlington, Terra, Izanami, Thoth, Nike, Kamazots. Working on getting those in this time. If I went too fast, you can see that on the update notes. But yeah, we're going to continue to try to bring these back. So look out for those coming with this update and more that are coming out in the future. And how you get them is the most exciting part, I think, personally. You're going to have to play as, against, or alongside the gods that we release these avatars for. So if you play with them for, I believe, 3 games, if I remember correctly, either as that god, with that god on your team, or with that god as an enemy, you will earn progression towards unlocking these avatars, and that is so cool. Just a little fun mini quest for a really awesome avatar, and again, we'll continue to roll these out in the future, but we're starting with 9.8, and I'm super excited to get there. So another big quality of life thing, which this is super hype as well, is in 9.8, we will actually going to have 2 chests that you can purchase with favor now. Favor. So those 2 are going to be the Odyssey Soaring Isles cosmetic chest, which is super great. There's going to be all kinds of cosmetics in there you can get for favor. So, I mean, if you're popping those favor boosters or playing on 2x favor weekends, you're rolling Odyssey cosmetic chests, which is incredible. You're also going to be able to do that for the voice pack chest, which also huge. The voice packs are one of my favorite things in Smite. Honestly, we have so many talented voice actors. It's going to be incredible. Again, for favor. I feel like I can't emphasize that enough. That's a huge
I missed the
change.
clan points.
And last but not least, in the little quality of life section we got going here, we're moving 100 or more exclusive skins. I say or more because I'll admit I didn't go through and count every one. That's 100's a lot. But they're going to direct purchase. So look out for some of your favorite skins, which you will now be able to just purchase directly right away. So a lot of exciting stuff we're working with. 9.8 just continues to pack on stuff. But that's barely all of it. I keep having to flip my paper over because if you expect me to remember all this, you're crazy. It's so much.
I just want to see
We're going to move into talking about the community calendar event, which I always love these. I mean, our community has great artists, right? It's
so
incredible.
awesome.
I love them. And being able to work with them is great. So we have an event. Y'all have seen these before, a lot of y'all, where you come in, play a game of Smite, earn a free reward. It's that simple, There's nothing more to it than that. If you play a game every day, you're going to earn a free reward. And for 2 weeks, this community calendar event, it's a lot of C's to say in once. I'm tripping over myself. Is exactly that way. And of course, there are boosters. You can earn gems on one day. All kinds of things you can earn. But I think the most popular, and for obvious reasons, is the cosmetics you
poor
earn
guys
from
getting
the
roasted.
community. So I believe we actually get to show some of those off here. We have the art for them. And there are 6 in total, which I am super, super excited. And yeah, here they are. So we have 2 jump stamps.
Oh my god.
And yeah, right, these are incredible. So Shiva and Danzaburo, both jump stamps. The avatars are Loki and Jormungandr, the goose. And then for global emotes, we have that amazing Atlas one, which I'm going to earn so fast. And, well, I guess whenever the calendar day comes. And the Cuckoo one made by Likoi, which I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen on Twitter. So congratulations to all of these people for the incredible work they put in. And I'm excited to not only be able to shout them out as these roll through the calendar event, but to be able to rep them all in game, because these are so good looking. The community, again, is just full of incredible artists that I cannot shout out enough. So yeah, look forward to this coming with 9/8. This is the community calendar event. There will be these, so many other things, and if you earn at least 6 rewards, obviously you should earn these 6, but if you earn any 6 rewards, you will also get the Dapper Baron Somdi skin. So it is going to be, I mean, there it is.
He is pretty dapper.
Very dapper. It has that very retro vibe too. So totally free if you earn at least 6 of the rewards throughout the 14
Is that
days.
not just the default skin?
It's free. You got this. I believe in y'all. So super excited, super looking forward to this event. And super excited to flex all of those super cool community avatar things. I've said super a lot. We're going to move past that. So now we get into the skins, which one of my favorite sections of this always, get to ogle all of the good work that our people do. Starting with August 23rd, so with the release of the patch next Tuesday, the Down to Clown chest and Bad Apple Discordia. Get an eyeful of that.
She is both creepy and beautiful. I personally, I'm scared of clowns, all right? But like, she's got away with it where it's not, too creepy, too scary. She's down to clown, as the chest would say.
Yeah, it's like nightmare-inducing, but like also not a nightmare. Like you wake up sweating, but you're also like, well, I mean, I don't feel like I slept for it.
Look at her little clown friend.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That is so good.
Oh, but that's also gonna be what's gonna be flying at.
Oh wait, no. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I take it back. It's scary.
That is horrifying. I love those wings. Let's
Pussy.
Why not let me teach you a magic trick?
That didn't sound threatening at all.
She's just trying to have a good time, a fun time.
Just trying to teach you a magic trick, that's all. It's not going to make your hand disappear or anything. No worries. It's no problem. All right, cool. So next up, jumping ahead here to the bonus update, which will come out September 6th, we have the Lifeform chest and Xeno Thrasher Fenrir.
Oh, wow. He is
that looks
scary.
dope.
Yeah, that one's just straight up scary.
So we've gone from one kind of phobia to another. I like it. I like where we're going.
True. Yeah, Nightmare Fuel is, I think, correct there. So that definitely oozing green horror.
Oh.
We'll leave it at that.
Holy.
Oh,
wow, that looks cooler than I thought it was
absolutely
going to.
Terrifying and
That
very
is
spiky.
Like the same kind of theme as we had with the Tiamat, I remember.
And Arachne too.
And Arachne,
I want to see all of those creepy creatures on the battlefield.
That is
a
lit.
lot of green and black too. I don't know. It just complements, the colors complement each other so well. Let's hear the voice line.
Run all you want. There is no escape.
If I've learned anything about playing Fenrir, there's no escape. Yeah. Nail on the head there. So that's horrifying. So cool. Again, look forward to this on September 6th, which is the bonus update for 9/8. Another thing coming in the bonus update on 9/8 is the Frostbite chest with Winter's Mark Hu Yi.
Oh, he looks clean. Nice. Look at that guy. My goodness.
Pretty cool.
Very, very clean. I absolutely love
I hope he looks cool in game.
So we don't have a voice line, or not a voice line. We have a voice line. We don't have a turnaround for this one right now, so I'm going to have to apologize for that, but we do have a voice line. Let's listen to that.
As I take my first step onto this battlefield, I can feel the haunting chill of the northern winds.
I want to see this one again. It looks
don't
pretty
have
similar
much
to that blue
time.
one, though.
There's a lot of storytelling in that. Like,
yeah, he has a nice voice.
He does have a nice voice. And I love the bird too. Like very, very aesthetic. I love the blues and whites and all the dark shades.
His arm is like frozen there.
Oh yeah, he's like a ice arm. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, I hope he shoots like a frozen ricochet too. That would be really cool with the
cool.
shattering ice.
Super love that. All right, so next up we have an Odyssey coming up. Odysseys are huge. It's a huge event spanning several updates, dropping on 9/8, and this is the Odyssey Floating Isles. Now, there's a whole lot I can go over here, but the base of it is there are floating isles for you to explore. It's a whole realm of floating islands, so you got to get in there, complete missions, and search through these islands, figure out what's going on. And this one has something a little special. If you collect 3 floofs, which are scattered throughout the islands, you actually get to go to Chibi Land, a brand new floating island. Yeah, I just pulled that off with a straight face. That's right.
Are these
Chibi
islands
Land.
just like?
So,
I'm assuming they're not real.
yeah, no, this is. I wrote it down to make sure I didn't forget it. Yeah, floofs is a professional term, by the way.
It is
So yeah, super excited for that. There's a lot of content, and we're gonna get into that obviously here. You don't have to take my word for it. You'll see it all in a second. But that's gonna be the Odyssey Soaring Isles coming up, and it's starting off with some of the event skins, which will drop day 1 of the update, August 23rd. Almost forgot my dates there. Starting with Fairy Dust Nuwa.
Oh, she is adorable. I love this theme so much. And the little crystal butterflies. I mean,
yeah, the little ballerina shoes.
Come on, you guys. This is a really cute skin.
It's poetic.
I hope that her little minions that come out just go, hey.
Yeah, hey.
All right. Who put Clumsy in charge of writing the voice back to you?
Spoilers, what?
Oh my
They're
goodness.
like butterflies. That's so awesome.
I just love the colors on this. Like, yes, it's very pink, but it's also got a lot of that blue in there. Like, it's a very natural like progression of those colors, and it just like goes together so well.
Yeah, they really worked that gradient extremely well. Like from all parts, there's a gradient halfway at the middle. The shoes even have the it's absolutely beautiful. Let's hear the voice line.
Oh, what's that? There are new guests in the forest? Well then, let's be the first to show them a warm welcome.
And she's nice.
She definitely wants to hang out with all of the forest.
Shut up.
Sneak up in the cloud of mysteries. So
True.
super cool. The next skin dropping at the very beginning with the update next week is going to be Shadow Dancer Shiva.
Okay. All right. That's
man, what
sick.
the hell?
Oh my
Always
gosh.
love this, like,
I love those types of
Shadow Spirit
skins.
theme that we have going on.
I
It's
agree.
Super cool.
And it fits so well. That blue is just, I don't know. I can't stop looking at it. Again, with the gradient from the dark to the light.
One thing
it's
I will
just
say is,
incredible.
who the fuck cut this skin out?
Well, because like
Oh
he's
my
kind
god,
of the
look at his
perfect-
head. It's on fire. That's freaking. Oh, that's rad.
Those effects are
All
so
the art,
cool.
big use of material with. Hell yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love those
That is
Nightcrawler
absolutely
type skins.
Again, I mean, like you said with the hair, I'm tantalized. I'm staring at it. I can't stop. Let's hear the voice line.
I will usher in the next step of the cycle. Life or death.
That was heavy. Very heavy.
He's got 4 arms to carry it though.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, you can
definitely
easily.
can handle it. I don't doubt that at all.
Tons of
So
them.
that is the other of the event skins that'll be available for purchase right at the very beginning. But next up, we have some rewards. As with any Odyssey, there are reward skins you can earn along the way. And the first one is one that y'all might recognize: Bun Hats Hoonbots.
I mean,
My god.
It's happening.
It's happening.
It's happening. It's here. You can see him in that beautiful artwork, and he's. I don't know if you can see the little details on that slip there, but that's a steak. Well done and with
Bun
ketchup,
hats.
and we all know, we all know that is a sin.
Oh, is that why
That's why he's
angry?
mad. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
he's mad.
I love
He's
that.
a chef.
Well
and he's
done
really pissed that you're
steak
ordering
with
a
some
steak well
ketchup.
done.
Yeah, and with ketchup? No, not in his establishment. He has a baguette to wallop you with for such a heinous order.
Oh
I
man,
love it.
there he is.
Ketchup
I
gang.
think this day would finally come.
There's the bun and the hats. I can't get over it. What a great skin. And
Anyone can be a chef.
yeah, shout out. Gotta shout out the community effort behind this. It's just, I mean, it shows up at Bacchus Twitter, showing up every single day. I don't know.
300 plus days.
300 plus days.
That's commitment.
Yeah, that's almost a full year of just like, hey, remember this?
And it's not even that too. It's that there was a bunch of content behind it too. We got
Oh,
the
yeah.
community involved. Like this quickly became a community meme, and that's what made it so special.
Oh yeah, so excited to get it in there. So let's hear the voice line.
I've never seen a place so devoid of flavor. This looks like a job for the world-renowned bunheads to work his magic.
That is so good. I was literally doubled over here at the world-renowned bun hats. So you know what? It wouldn't be enough just to see it here. Let's go in game and check.
Oh, let's do it.
We're going in.
Oh, look at that. What a seamless transition.
Oh,
A
there he
regal
is.
gentleman. All right, so there's all kinds of things to talk about with this. Not the least of which is the
my
VXG, which this skin definitely has.
Oh,
Where you get the pogo stick on your baguette.
Poor baguette's gonna get
well,
all
that's how
dirty.
you know he made a sturdy baguette.
True.
Nice.
It's cool too that this kind of runs a parallel with a lot of the food skins we have as
Yeah,
well.
absolutely.
Because it has a lot of those foodie effects, being a chef and all, but without the character
Oh, bye,
itself being
Odin.
food.
See you later, bud.
Bye.
Oh, that's so cool.
There he goes.
I absolutely love it.
I can't believe that we're gonna be like
Sales
facing
up,
this
bro.
Battlefield soon.
I know, right?
Oh man.
Again, I'm just at a loss for words. It was one of those, it was a community push that we loved seeing. We loved all the hype around it, and we're finally able to bring it here, and I couldn't be more excited about it. It is an incredible skin. I just shout out again to Bun Hats. So the next reward in the Odyssey, which all of the rewards will be available to earn right away. Buy all will be the quickest way to get them. But the next reward that you can earn through the Odyssey is Cthulhu.
This is phenomenal. I actually, okay, funny
What
story
the
about
fuck
this.
is this?
Someone in the thread of Byakai confirming bun hats asked for Uwu Cthulhu when, and you know what? Here it is.
Yeah, now.
We're on top of it.
We were so hopped up on the Bun Hats thing that we were just ready to fulfill all the community dreams. So yeah, it's Cthulhu.
Oh wow! The eldritch horror of nightmares is an address.
Oh Lord.
That's one kind of nightmare, I guess.
That's true. I just
Look at that dress.
yeah, like the teddy bear. bows.
Adorable.
It literally,
So
like, I don't know how you take Cthulhu, Eldritch Horror, and turn it into, like, a plushie that I want. But there it is.
I don't like
Someone
his
please make
feet.
this a
His
plushie,
feet
by
make
the
me
way.
uncomfortable. Like,
I would buy that.
those are some
Right? I
legs,
would
dude.
too.
The face I think is one of my favorite parts as well. It's got just like the TV
It changes.
animations.
Yeah, it changes
Yeah.
too. Oh, I love that.
So adorable. Let's hear the voice line.
New friends! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I'm so excited! Ooh.
Oh no, he says
No
uwu.
idea what to expect.
I kind of like that. I like the
I mean,
voice
of course
fact.
he has to uwu, right?
Oh, yeah, he has to uwu. I hope you can uwu in game, because I will be doing it constantly.
I do
you know,
believe it's your woohoo.
It is
by the way.
actually.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
beautiful. Nothing this good should pass without being seen live.
You can PTS while you're in the ulti.
It sounds like
massive
Rexsi.
Cthulhu. It's going ooh.
Let's go in game and test it out.
Oh, there he is.
Beautiful.
There he is. Oh, he's staring at us.
We're new friends.
We are new friends.
There's
Oh,
That
so
is way
cute.
too much going on with that
Oh, but
skin.
the
How
rainbows
vibrant.
too.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, that looks really cool.
That looks really good.
that's nice. The rainbows
like
and
poop.
everything.
And the little
Sheesh.
heart in his hand. Oh, I absolutely.
He's sharing the love.
Oh, the upskirt.
so good.
Oh my god.
Again, like,
Imagine seeing that thing come at you if you're a new
the
player.
pink is overwhelming. Like, that is so much pink.
Okay, Agro, I have a very on-the-spot request, but could you show us the face while he's big?
Yes, you're gonna have to ulti again.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Nice.
Yes. Oh.
It's got like the blush
Okay, this is
lines and
glorious.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh, and
go
Oh,
down.
so
The
cute.
rainbow tornado is incredible.
Wow.
He's so angry.
He's so angry. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that, first and foremost.
Oh no. Oh, we broken it.
Well, I guess on that note, let's move on to the final reward for the Odyssey, Searing Seductress Soul.
Oh wow.
Quite the tone shift.
Quite the tone
wow.
shift.
Okay.
That hair, though.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How's it going? Nice to meet you.
Literally me in the left, on the back left there, just like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead, no problem. Call me.
And that'll be me on the back right. So
All right, cool. We got it. Yeah. Oh man.
Dang, that soul.
That
oh my
soul.
god.
Actually, it looks pretty
I
cool in
love too how you
game.
get kind of the not only the fiery
like the
effect
cape
beneath
thing.
her, but also on like her legs there, where it transitioned from like the dark to the lighter.
Yep.
You get kind of like that.
Skin actually
fiery
looks better in
effect.
game.
So great.
Yeah, we have a couple of human soul skins, but I think this one kind of has to take the cake.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I absolutely love this.
How is this
all
not
the
getting?
fiery effects?
How
too,
is
really
this
think
guy
about
not getting
it.
banned? I got banned for saying shut
So,
up one
let's hear the
time.
voice line.
Another day, another pathetic immortal falling right into my grasp. Isn't it delightful?
hi, it's me, the pathetic mortal.
Yeah,
Right in your grasp, gotcha.
Yeah, let's call dibs. I'm pathetic mortal. Yeah, so super exciting, and that will be the last of the rewards. Which all of the rewards will be available day 1, August 23rd, which is next week. So super close.
Dang.
Next up, another day 1 skin available for us is the Odyssey chest skin, and this one is Kumikarna.
Oh yeah, when I started saying.
Oh,
wow.
my
This
goodness.
card, wait.
Love it.
This is the actual art. Oh my
There's
god.
a card art and
this
a card
is
art.
amazing.
Yeah, it's
What the
Actually,
hell?
so cool with the Thanatos as well.
Yeah.
Is that a little rat toss little squirrel? What's that?
Rat Oscar's
Little
looking for
friend.
breakfast. I love this so much.
I love the text in the box as well. An important part of a balanced meta.
Nice. Oh my gosh. I hadn't even noticed that until right now.
110 grams of kills.
I'm literally going to be going back through and reading through every bit of this.
Oh, okay. So we did like the shader tech. Very cool.
Wow, this is just so different from how he normally is. He's got the little like arms.
That looks like ass.
So cute.
I like this.
The chocolate poofs underneath. I just absolutely adore it.
Yeah, that is a cereal mascot.
That is a cereal mascot. Let's hear the voice line.
Not a fan of it.
Soon, the whole world will be addicted to my cuckoo crunch. I plan to take over the world.
I don't like it the way his
is
face
working.
looks.
Okay, that's amazing. He's like an evil mascot that's using his cereal.
Do they really struggle that hard with
I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, that is
skin concepts?
I cannot get over that. All right. So I'm in love with this, and again, that's going to be part of the Odyssey chest. So next up in the Odyssey, these are skins that will be available with the bonus update. So September 6th. And the first of these two skins is Cryptid Death Anubis.
Oh, that is some card art, dude. With the hands all around.
That's big spooky.
I bet this looks
Shout
like
out to the
shit
artist
in
on this
game.
one. This is so cool.
True.
Come on, don't look like crap.
It's grasping hands as well around him too, right? Like all
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Coming off. That's very cool.
That's horrifying. I don't know. I just keep looking at the skull.
Oh, wow.
Also scary in person.
Yeah, very scary. We have a thing this patch, I guess, with scary.
Pretty cool.
You know?
and then Cthulhu.
And then Cthulhu.
Scary,
Still
scary
scary.
Cthulhu. Yeah, still a horror. Don't take away from it. But super excited for this. Let's hear the voice line.
Yes, I am hungry.
Just get you some food, folks.
I was gonna say you would do.
I like
really
his
well
back
with band
piece. It
props.
kind of looks like Bacchusura.
Hungers, you're hungry.
True.
You know, it goes all together.
If anything, I'm actually a little less scared now. The voice was horrifying, but the mood was relatable. So that's how I start most of my mornings, actually. So, well, that's super cool. So next up, the second skin coming with to the Odyssey with the bonus update on September 6th is Cryonic Demon Ymir. So let's see what Ymir's got for us.
Oh.
What is the hands?
Hands inside his chest.
He has chest hands.
Still
What?
scary. And a dude and his hammer, I
Wait.
guess?
I'm so confused.
Wait, really?
It looks like there's feet and knees
Oh,
there.
Oh my
so
god,
weird.
there's a
goodness
body
me.
inside of
Okay,
it.
All right.
We're just on the horror.
Is that a Saiyan?
All the details came out so
What the hell?
well.
This is quite the skin.
Wow.
Massive kudos to the 3D artist team there.
Holy, there's just so much like detail in this skin that I'm very shocked. And again, if you pick this skin against me, you insta win based on intimidation factor.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
I like his
That's,
weapon.
My internet crashed. Oops. This scenario.
Yeah,
for
the
sure.
textures and materials on this are just fantastic.
Yeah.
You can't
Oh,
see the
you
creepy
can't
hammer,
see the
dude.
Oh,
He's not going to be very comfortable in there.
surely not.
All right, let's
That's a
hear the
good
voice.
skin. Holy shit.
Death is only the beginning.
That's
so
a cool skin.
Creepy little hands.
Only the
The
beginning.
hands.
The hands.
Okay, well, cool. So on that horrifying note, let's, I guess, continue to move into more horror. Next up is what I am most excited about for this. New Odyssey, new Tier 5 skin. This Tier 5 skin is the big final reward, the final earn for this. And this Tier 5 skin is called Crow of Torment Hades. Let's check it out.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That is super awesome.
Oh my gosh, that looks insane.
And I guess those are his two forms right there.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say.
so he's the
big
little
dude.
the little guy and the big guy is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Little best of both worlds.
Oh, man.
Really hit his growth spurt there.
People vote for
Yeah, this
Hades?
continues just to be a horrifying patch.
But in the best way possible.
Well, yeah,
you know?
like great content, just great scary content.
Okay,
Oh,
so there's
okay.
there's the one we saw on the left.
He has
Yeah.
a little bird friend.
He does have a little bird friend. I love all that inky black too. That's incredible.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some like goopiness going on under there. Like,
Yeah, what's that?
he normally doesn't have legs, right? But like this is like he's part of the ground. He's coming out of the
I don't think they let people vote
Yeah,
this
I
year.
didn't
That's
even
odd.
notice that. You're right. It's literally like.
What is the bird's name?
I don't know
They're
what
kind of
they
like
call it.
tendrils.
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. So I mean, so much to talk about here, but I'm just excited to see this. Can we get the voice line for this? I want to hear the voice line so bad.
It is coming. It is.
About to bust! He's about to bust!
Sounded scary. I mean, I don't know what else to add to that.
Yeah, paralyzed in fear over here. I'm not really sure what to say.
Yeah, I was about to say. I'm excited to see this because there's a lot about this, and I'm going to get into it. But I'm excited for us to be able to dive in game and take a look at this.
There we go.
Ooh, I love
there
that.
he is.
You
He's
mean
so
followers
intimidating
in
with
Toronto?
the
I
red
might meet
eyes
up.
staring out at you from
Say
under the hood.
say hi to some
He is,
people.
and remember, this is only the first form.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
Look at those. Yeah, look at those abilities. That's.
Whoa, that targeter.
Wow,
Oh my
yeah.
god, and he's gooped up.
Oh.
Gooped up.
That is,
Why did I know you were
Oh
gonna say
God.
that? I feel like you were prepping us earlier. Oh wow.
Yeah, that
cool
inky
abilities.
black is incredible.
Dude, that
Those
targeter
effects
is
really
those
cool.
targeters are insane.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
the
insane.
crows are
All the
awesome.
colors
Oh,
too.
and
There's
you
so
can
much
see
depth.
the sludge rise up while he's ulting too.
That is so freaky.
Sludge, I'll take it.
The sludge.
Yeah,
There's a
I mean,
bird
yeah.
going around his head.
Aw, look at the
He's still got the bird.
bird.
And then this is one of the
Oh!
parts about the skin.
Oh!
The skybox, whenever you play this skin, is permanently edited
Just
to
made
have
it white.
crows. It's darkness and crows all through the sky.
Dude, that's a lot of crows.
The Crow of Torment brings
So
forth
many.
the army of crows. So all these incredible animations. I mean, you have VXG, back anime, all brand new animations throughout the entire thing.
So does it not evolve?
You know,
He's got like phantom crows as well.
yeah, a
helping
lot of
him
work
return
bringing
back
in
to
these
base.
crows. So super excited. And
Oh,
then
there we go.
Oh,
the
whoa!
end where you turn into the giant crow monster. Now, one thing.
What the fuck?
So
That's
The
creepy.
way he comes out all jet black.
Look at
and,
the
like,
way he walks. What?
Just the way he's animating while he's moving around, he's like using that massive arm, his left arm, to like drag him forwards. That's
Oh,
that's
Oh
can
my
fly.
God!
And
Holy.
Yeah,
fly.
he can literally
All right, all right. My nightmares. Listen.
Yeah. So, I mean, just so many things to talk about here.
Oh my
One thing is that there are so many, like, crows are incorporated into so many aspects of this. That was something that our effects teams and artists really put their heart into, was making sure that crows were always a part of these animations in one way or another. Another super cool thing to note is that, like, all of the abilities are just custom animations. I was choking on my words there. Like, they did so many custom animations, especially for this form, that are just so wildly different from what Hades usually has.
Oh,
To
that
really
old.
showcase that this, I mean, it's a transformation completely. All of the animations have been changed. You still get that persistent skybox, you still get all that other stuff, but I mean, just the detail in all these animations is incredible.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that good of a
I mean,
skin
we
until.
don't really have anything else like this in Smite. There's no
was alright.
crazy creature that walks around
This makes it
with
into fun.
one gigundo hand and a big old staff, and one bird wing and one skeleton bird wing, and now he's flying and into my nightmares. No, God, there's crows in the sky.
Yeah, there's just so many things about this skin which are incredible. I mean, and it really personifies that whole monstrous transformation. Like, you start off, as still a super creepy dude. Like, I love that goop effect we were talking about, and the effects
Hold that
already
back.
look good.
Wow.
Even like, obviously there's so much going on with the model, but one of the wings is more like fleshed out with the feathers. The other one's kind of just decrepit over there. That's really cool. It's a really cool detail.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the contrast in this skin as
Oh, I have no idea.
It's a super exciting skin. It has, again, it was a total overhaul. The teams worked so closely together between animation, effects, the artist, to really make sure that the crow
What does this
theme
dance look like? That's a
was-
good question.
The darkness and crow theme was present throughout the entire skin. So it really lends itself to all of those themes incredibly well. And I can't wait to
Oh,
see
you
all
get,
of
like,
the
the
different
heart
maps
piece?
of that crow effect too. Because how intimidating is that? Like, this is the first skin that has a persistent throughout, from the moment you load in to the moment the game is over, effect that alters the environment in some way. And it's just incredible to look at. So this is actually, again, the T5 for the Odyssey, and the easiest way to get this is to hit the buy all now option. Again, I've talked too much today. I'm losing it. I'm losing my sense of speech. But it's super great, and you can do it right away, very beginning of the event, and it's honestly incredible how much stuff you get. There's all of the cosmetics throughout the event that you can earn, but not only that, you are going to get a total of 20 skins if you buy all. So that's all of the stuff that you've seen up to this point are things that you'll get. Some of them, don't come out until the bonus update, so you're gonna have to wait for that.
I want to see the new
But
gods
buy
so
all is
badly.
gonna
This has
get
been the
you,
longest patch ever.
Cthulhu, it's gonna get you that skin, the Hades skin. It's gonna get you bun hats, Seductress Soul, Fairy Nuwa, the Shiva skin. All of those right away, and up to 20 total skins throughout the entirety of this event, which is a ton of skins.
Yeah.
Like
That's
20
a lot.
skins.
Yeah.
So literally throughout updates, you're just going to be getting stuff on and on and on, and that's what the buy all option does for you. It gets you Crow of Torment, Hades right up front, and then all of that other stuff throughout the entirety. Because Odyssey is going to be around for several updates. It's a really long event. So every time content comes out, it's yours. And that is the cool thing about the buy all. And again, it's 16 skins plus the 4 reward skins that we went over.
Buy all.
Super big there, super awesome, and definitely something to look out for when this event comes out. Starting next Tuesday, August 23rd.
So soon.
Right around the corner. Yeah, it's still crazy to me that I can
know,
sit here and be
Cooper.
like, yeah.
Doesn't even
next
look
week.
like Hades.
So super exciting. So that runs us through all of our skins, I think. That was incredible and kind of horrifying. I'll admit, I'm sweating a little more than I was before we started. But there's one more thing we have to talk about.
Is there one more thing?
There is one more thing, and I think
man.
we'll get to it right after this video.
I think
Rated
next
T
time
for teen.
I'm gonna have a y'all counter. I wasn't a huge fan of this trailer.
She's here. Ishtar, what was it you used to say to me?
All is fair in love and
It did feel a little lame.
Now, let's see how you fare.
It's Ishtar time. I mean, what else is there to say? That is an incredible trailer. It's going to be an incredible new addition to Smite. And Lermy, how about you run us through it? Like, Ishtar is your baby. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah, so Ishtar is the goddess of love and war in Smite, and she also has another title being the Queen of Heaven. So Ishtar as a character is this kind of very strong feminine figure throughout the entirety of the Babylonian mythos. And so she basically, her entire deal is that she wants to conquer as much as possible. So she goes on various quests, finding other various gods and taking them down. And actually featured in the trailer there for her is her conflict with Gilgamesh, which is a really, really big part of her lore, is that one of the most famous Babylonian texts that exists, period, is the Epic of Gilgamesh. And so the reason that Gilgamesh actually goes on his quest, which, all starts basically back with Ishtar, who approaches him, basically courts him and says, hey, let's get married. Yeah. He obviously has heard of Ishtar before, and so he knows that Ishtar is, while she's really representative of a lot of really powerful feminine traits, including being a goddess of love, she's more of a love in an intimate way, not so much the cutesy, Cupid or Aphrodite way that we all come to know. Instead, she basically she wants to use Gilgamesh basically for his power. But what happens is Gilgamesh says, hey, I've heard about you before, and you don't have the best track record when it comes to men. So, no. And so Ishtar gets very pissed. She does not really take the rejection very well, and so she actually goes to On, the god of the sky, and he says, hey, look, I know that you're upset right now. I'm going to help you out. Yeah. I'm going to give you the Bull of Heaven, which is this mythical creature.
The longest
and so what she does then is she sicks the Bull of Heaven on Gilgamesh and his friend Enkidu. No. And then that basically, it doesn't directly lead to Enkidu's death, but what happens is Gilgamesh and Enkidu fend off the Bull of Heaven. And they try to fight back at Ishtar by actually taking the leg of the bull and throwing it at him. And so, by disrespecting the gods, it ends up in getting Enkidu killed, which then sends Gilgamesh on his quest for immortality.
Ooh.
It is a deep story.
Yeah, we got the lore.
Yeah, we've got the rundown on what brought her to that point. But there are various other stories about her going on conquest, like going to the underworld and trying to take that over from her sister.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
She really will do anything for power.
It sounds like it. I mean, let's check out the card art real quick. I want to see it so bad.
Please. And this card art is absolutely gorgeous. One of the things that you'll notice is that there's a lot of symbolism in her design, whether it's the horned crown throughout, all of Babylonian mythos. Gods tend to have this kind of crown, which have horns in them. The more horns that they have, it tends to be symbolic of how powerful they are. So we've got the horns going on. We've got the bow. Obviously, she's shown to be this armed to the teeth goddess with different kinds of weapons. So you see that she has a bow. She has some swords on her back. And of course, the lions as well. Yeah. She's got some relations to, of course, storms, and so storms are said to have the roar of lions, is like the noise that they make. So of course there's connections to lions, connections to storms, and you'll see a little bit more of that in her kit as well. And then another small detail in this card that I do want to point out is you'll see some scorpion tails on the ground. So On, that god that she went to go ask for the Bull of Heaven, well, she fought him too, even though he helped her. And so during that fight, On turned into a giant scorpion, and she slew him. So that's why there's scorpions all over the ground.
She an unstoppable force of nature, this one.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow, and there it is in game.
And here we are in game.
I like her bow.
Another really cool, important thing to point out here is that she is kind of decked out in various materials. So she's got the cloth going on, she's got the leather, she's got various metals and jewelry. She's very blinged out, right? She loves to be the center of attention, but she's also very tactical. She's agile. Her whole idea is to basically move in and out of fight, in and out of combat as much as possible, and so this kind of getup is what gets it done.
Yeah, literally, like you said, armed to the teeth, but also dressed to impress. So
absolutely.
Literally the best of both worlds there, and I can't stop staring at the arrow, by the way. That is
the arrow.
Tantalizing. Let's hear the voice line.
It's been so long since I felt the sweet bliss of battle. My blood is pumping just thinking about it.
My blood's pumping somewhere too.
Attitude to match, like ready to get into the battleground and wreak some havoc. And what better thing to do after hearing that than go into the battleground and let her wreak some havoc? Let's check this out in game.
Yes. Oh, there she is. She is, she's got the power pose going on.
Yeah.
She's just waiting for some enemy to show up so she can beat them up. She's twirling the arrow around.
What an awesome idle animation.
Her idols are really, really cool. But one thing actually to point out here is that you can see just in her stance and how she's walking, she has a very unique strafe animation where she's not actually turning back and forth. She's always ready. She's got her bow in her hand, ready to shoot. And so she's just hanging on to it at all times and not turning. So we did some really cool special treatments to her strafes.
Looks just like Hui auto attacks. Like the exact same.
Awesome. Well, before we get into the kit.
I was going to say bow hunter as well. When's the last time we've had a bow hunter?
It's been so long. Maybe Hachiman was the last one?
I think so.
Wow.
5 years,
That's been a long time.
But let's
5 years.
Yeah, right. That hurts to say out loud. Let's just get a showcase of the kit. Let's see it all at once. Lay it on us. Let's see the kit.
Oh, that's a cool looking ability.
All right. As always, so many things to get into there. Like,
yeah.
You see all of that and you're like, that looked really cool.
That's insane.
I don't know what any of that was. That's what we're here for. That's what we're ready to break it
we
down.
Do.
Yeah. So let's just start off with the basic attack. So I mean, super cool basic attack. You got the bow shot. We haven't seen arrows in a long time, and even still, these arrows are incredible. They're like these lightning arrows, I guess?
They're kind of lightning. They're also kind of holy energy, because remember, she's the queen of heaven. So what she's doing is she's kind of harnessing this heavenly, again, kind of lightning-y energy, because she's got that throwback to the storms with the lions and things like that. So it's kind of a combination of lightning and holy energy that she's shooting.
Like holy energy lightning arrow. Okay, that's cool. So let's get into the passive then. I see the little marker there for it, which looks fantastic. The passive is called Mark of Vengeance. What's that about?
Yeah, so again, Ishtar is kind of a vengeful goddess, and people piss her off, she's going to fight back. So how this works is that anytime that you get beneath 75% health, the passive will trigger. And so what that means is it's going to mark the enemy that most recently hit you. And it's going to show a big old star above their head. It's actually the star of Ishtar, this 8-pointed star that you see here. That's the marker. And so what happens is every single time that you auto-attack them, you get attack speed up to a stat cap. And then when you kill them, during that point, you also get movement speed. But again, it has to be while the passive's active, and you'll see there that the gem actually in your passive meter fills back up as it's returning back to cooldown. So it only happens when that center gem is full. And again, you'll see it's activated now because she's under 75%.
Yeah.
And then if she kills him, which we're throwing at everything there, now we've got the movement speed.
Okay, that's super cool. And I love the visual cooldown reminder right there, because I saw not only when it was red, it showed you the face of who it was that you were getting vengeance on and how long you had for vengeance, but then showing you when the that's just incredible. I absolutely love that.
That'll be good for Duel.
Yes, and again, just to emphasize, it is kill or assist on the marked target will give you the movement speed, but you have to hit with basic attacks to get the attack speed.
Got it. Well, that is super cool, and again, just what a great visual effect for that. I also love the like overhead thing.
Yeah, I also saw like her horns glowing and stuff there.
Yes, there's actually very special effects treatments going on across your kit, but you'll notice that you have the attack speed when your bow is glowing in the center, and then also when her horns glow is how you know that you have that passive attack speed going on.
Super cool. All right, well, cool. And yeah, I guess we'll just.
There it is.
Okay,
Nice.
yeah, there's that one. Yeah, I see it now. Like all the. Oh man, that's awesome. So many things to dig into. Next up, we have ability 1 called Imbue Arrows. So there's a little more to this ability than meets the eye, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll notice that this is not a regular ability, one might say. It is kind of a soft stance switch. You're not really switching stances. You instead are switching your auto attack. So as you'll notice, when you press 1, your abilities 1, 2, and 3 are going to swap to different icons. And so there are actually 3 different basic attack types that you'll have besides just your main form of shooting. And I think let's start off with the variation at the first there, Strike Shot. So this is a lob shot
like a lob.
that basically creates this strike
Looks kinda cool.
in an area of effect, which is great. And so each of these kind of have their own different use case. Strike Shot has bonus damage on it in this area. It can also be shot over walls, but the trade-off for it is that you deal less crit damage when you use this stance. So lob, bonus damage, less crit damage, but also over wall.
That is super cool. All right, well, now I have to know what the next one is. So what's the next imbued arrow?
Yes, the next one is called Spreadshot, and so Spreadshot is in a cone. And so basically this will shoot out 5 projectiles.
Cool.
The center one will still be doing 100% of your basic attack damage, and the other ones will be doing less. But yeah, the whole idea is that the closer that you are to someone, the more arrows that you're shooting at once, and the more damage you'll be doing.
That is so cool. I love that too, because you know, tank comes up to get in your face, you have a pretty solid high damage response. It looks like.
Yes,
so.
and one important thing to note about this is that Spreadshot only procs item effects on the center arrow. So you're not getting 5 chin size, you're not getting 5 Xy's.
That makes sense.
Good to know. Good to know.
You're only getting 1 from that center arrow.
Got it. So you still have to, you know, be accurate, but you're doing a bunch on the side too, even if you're not perfectly accurate. That's really cool.
Exactly.
So I believe there is one more imbued arrow.
Yes, the last one is called Storm Shot, and so this one is a long-range snipe. And how this works and what the trade-offs are with this is that the shot will of course go farther. That's your advantage. You're doing less damage. Is the other kind of trade-off for this, but your projectile speed is actually increased by 20%. So if these guys move faster, they go farther, but they deal less damage.
So you use this with Griffin Wing and like they're just
they go so fast. They go so fast.
That is so cool. I really.
Why can't I get 5
That's one ability we just talked about.
Yeah, that was one.
Incredible. And
yeah.
I love all of the options it gives you, you know? Like there are some that are going to help you for poking around a fire giant or around a major objective. There are some that are going to help you for clearing lane. If there's a team fight happening over the wall, what could it hurt to lob some arrows over there and see what happens? I really do love that you have all of this variety here.
Yeah, of course.
It's incredibly exciting.
Yeah, and one important thing here that our driver is showing off is
poor
that none
Hotchman.
of these hit.
Hotchman gets his whole ability is 1/3 of this ability.
You also can't destroy things like Terra Pillar or Danjaburo Bottle or anything like that. And that's just consistent across all of our other stims that change your basic attack in some way. That's just how they work.
She's gonna be
so all of that
Duel.
functions exactly the same. And yeah, that's Imbue Arrows.
Yeah, that is literally ability 1, Imbue Arrows. That is so cool. I love the variety, and I'm gonna love being able to play with that. So next up, second ability, Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, so this one, as you'll see, there's a bunch of circles there. So how this works is that Ishtar calls down 4 strikes of lightning that proceed in a line. But the cool thing about this is you can decide which way you want the lightning strikes to proceed, either going from Ishtar and out, or coming out towards Ishtar. And so each of these circles does damage, but the other exciting part about this ability is that if an enemy god is hit by more than one of these, they are mesmerized. So your whole goal with this is to try to use this kind of as your zoning ability to keep people kind of in this line, and of course to set up for your other abilities with that mess.
Cool.
Yeah. That is super cool, and I love the fact that you can have it come from behind as well. Because if you're getting chased really hard, throw it out from you. You know, it gives the It shows the enemy what you're doing. They have to react to it, like you said, good zoning. But if you're trying to start an engage in lane or something, drop it in from behind them. Maybe they won't see it coming because that's behind them. They'll hear it, but you get the drop on them and you get to start your engage on the upper hand. I think that's really, really cool.
Definitely, like in playtest when you're boxing another hunter. If I like playing a little more on the passive
I wanna see
side,
that
so
dash.
as soon as I see them kind of like getting ready to approach me, I drop it behind them and it just stops all aggression immediately. It's like, I got you before you can get to me.
Dangerously diffuse the situation.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that. Cool. So next up, we have the third ability called Jolt.
Yeah, so Jolt is Ishtar's movement ability, and so how this works is she basically dashes in a line. And does damage.
That's
Great. That's
Cool.
that's it. Okay. There is one other
Interesting.
thing that this ability does that makes it incredibly exciting, and you'll notice that there's a circle that pops up when he's hovered over Odin. And go ahead and fire that. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there is a conditional backflip on this ability that only goes off if you hit a god. And how this works is you'll see that there's that extra circle that pops up. That circle is actually doing basic attack damage in an AoE. So that can crit, that can apply item effects. And it's on that little AoE, so she's got some powerful tools if she decides to go aggressive.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense to do auto
Is it a
attack
root?
damage. You can see it looks like she's firing the bow off upside down.
Oh, dude, the
Yeah,
montage
she is very,
clip, I'm
very
gonna make-
agile.
Incredibly impressive. Oh my god, an upside down backflip bow shot. All right, shout out to you, Ishtar.
Yeah, the other important thing to note is that no matter how close that you hit an enemy, you always go back the same exact amount of units. So do keep that in mind when playing against Ishtar, that she's always going to the same spot, no matter where she's hitting.
Got it. So whether it's max range or whether you're right in their face, you're still backflipping that same distance.
Yep.
So if you're not trying to put distance between
bandwidth,
yourselves, maybe save the backflip for to try to execute.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So next up and finally, we have the ult, Blades of Retribution.
Yeah, so this ability is really her teamfight tool. As you can see, it's a big old cone, and what happens is that she'll fire out 5 swords of light. And so on the way out, these swords are going to do damage. Each of them does their own individual damage, but if you're hit by multiple, they get reduced. So, you're not going to get blown up if you're in point blank range. Each additional hit gets reduced up to a certain amount. But on the way out, if you're hit by these swords, you are crippled. So that's really her big team fight play, is throwing out the swords and crippling people. But when she calls them back, that's when things get exciting, because if you've been hit by the cripple already and Ishtar calls back the swords and you get hit again, then you're stunned. So then you're really in trouble.
Yeah, really a hard time.
Right there, using cripple debuff, and then on the way back to stun.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
And correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you can kind of choose. Like there's a timer of when they come back, but you can also choose when you want to.
So is it any of them that hit you, or do multiple have to hit you?
Fire it and kind of call them back whenever you want. And some really cool plays have been done with this ability in playtests, where people have moved in different positions when their arrows come out and called them back at certain different places and things of that nature. You can also shoot this over walls. So there have definitely been some sneaky Ishtar plays over in our playtests.
Awesome.
And I really can't wait to see what you guys do with this ability too, because it is so fun to be able to just throw out these swords. And as you'll notice, they all have this marker at her feet showing where the swords are going to come from. So there's also some on the swords themselves, but yeah, you can see it on your feet. And then if we have our driver dash up to the swords, you can see as well that on the swords there is that little beam of light showing which direction they're going to go.
That is incredible. And it's, also worth noting, as y'all are seeing actively, you can use abilities in the middle of this. So you can use this to start a fight, switch to the shotgun arrow, or call down the lightning and do a backflip, and then bring them back all in one swift combo. So a lot of good. Even starting the team fight potential by throwing those out, backflipping off somebody to get that distance, and pulling them back as you do that.
Yeah, if you pull them back while you're backflipping, they go to the last valid location that you were at.
Got it.
So your last valid location is the enemy player that's stuck there. So that's a guaranteed 5-hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, what a great combo. So just in playthroughs and with y'all having tested this, how do you think she's gonna land on the battleground? You think she's gonna come in dealing that high damage? What are y'all excited to see from this on the battleground?
Yeah, I think she's gonna be a super fun hunter. I'm really excited to see how people use her various forms of imbue arrows and all those different shots. And I think I really can't wait to see what people manage to cook up with Blades of Retribution too, because that ability goes hard. That's all I could say.
I super agree. Well, I am super excited to see Ishtar hit the battleground, but that's not all of Ishtar coming. We also have obviously all the cool different skins and colors.
Ooh, this
that
backing
drop.
animation too.
So, oh yeah, you're right.
Look at her. Pulling out the swords and everything. Yeah, as you can
Looks
see,
like
she
those
does
fake
use her
weapons,
swords
so-
in various animations, whether that's pulling them out for the ultimate and her backing animation,
Yeah,
she does
yeah.
it as well. And then even in her dash, she pulls out her swords and swipes at people along the way.
Oh yeah, you're right. I saw you can even see it in the ghost there in the middle of it with the 2 swords out. That's so cool.
Yeah, though she's a hunter, she doesn't just use a bow.
Chill, Giga, don't talk
Yeah,
like
we
that.
talked about it initially as well with the whether it's the sniping animation, but just as usual, like massive kudos to the art teams, the animation
Oh,
teams, the
so
effects
nice.
teams. Sound effects also did some new tech.
Oh, I
Yes,
thought
you're
you
right.
said
I was
off
about to
yourself
say that.
in
Yeah,
replying
actually,
to him.
We have stereo with the abilities, which is kind
I
of
was
a
like,
new
Jesus,
thing.
Giga.
There have been a lot of inhibitors
Very
preventing us from
passionate.
being able to employ that earlier, but as always, our teams are iterating and trying new things and learning new tech. And our teams worked really hard
Yeah, I
together
didn't
on
fuck-
this
it didn't
to
clue in for a
make
moment.
those abilities as immersive as possible with stereo sound. So they figured out how to make it work, and this is kind of the first big showcase of that. And we're hoping to see a lot more of that.
You know, Artemis doesn't even know how to jump.
But that's something y'all are going to notice is these abilities are going to sound so clean.
Yeah, definitely. I can say for certain when I've been playing her in our playtests, it sounds so different, but in a great way.
Yeah.
It really makes you feel like you're the one performing these actions because you're hearing it out of both ears, and slightly different depending on that. And even playing against her, it's really easy to tell like when you're in the direct middle of things that are happening, or if they're to either side of you.
Dude,
They've
an auto
really got that
cancel with like
directionality nailed
to the
down. So
sniper
huge shouts to the audio team for
combos.
that.
It's got its potential in terms of
Incredible.
montage.
And again, gonna be so excited to see Ishtar hit the game. But again, that's not all there is of Ishtar. Let's check out the recolors now, starting with Rose Warrior Ishtar.
So many types of CC.
Oh, sweet.
That is so good.
I love
The one thing I didn't
art
like
for
was the
all of her
fucking
skins, but
purple,
this one
whatever.
Is just incredible. I just think that
They
this,
doubled
this
down?
action pose just really suits her, and that expression too. She is
Oh,
ferocious.
she's fierce. Undeniably fierce. And if I'm not wrong, that's like the middle of the backflip arrow shot.
Oh, yeah.
So also kind of a flex, I think.
Yeah, she's flexing on all of us that she can
Hey,
look that good while
Giga.
backflipping.
Right. Absolutely incredible. I love pinks and purples and stuff, so anytime those are featured in a skin, I am immediately like, yep, I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
and the bright silver armor too. That just looks
That's
incredible.
Really cool. I
Yeah.
love that, and as well as like the silver bow. Very sweet.
Very, very awesome. Absolutely love it. So there's this, obviously. We also have the Ascended Ishtar, part of the 2022.
Now,
pack.
okay.
Okay.
I said I liked the previous art, but I mean, you guys.
It's just incredible.
Ow.
Do these back shots very often.
Please don't
where you
look
see
bad in
the
game.
god from like an angle behind them, but this just really feels like she is like super into it. She is
Behind and below, like she just.
Yeah.
slayed
What the
you.
fuck? The colors are not nearly.
on the floor.
after killing you, by the way.
End of team fight, scoff as she walks away and goes and takes the Phoenix or something. Like that's all there is to it.
This skin is incredible too, with the like rosy bronzes, and I mean the silver hair. Like, are you kidding me?
It shimmers. It's
She kills
glorious.
this. Look, I love it.
And then
Right.
after this, there's only one last place to go: the Masteries. You got to see the Masteries.
Oh, absolutely. And this art too is just
That is so threatening.
phenomenal. I'm blown away by the talent of our art team, and I mean the gold and blue just looks right with her, you know?
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. And again, that is just the expression is there's no.
The AoE ones
there.
don't
It's just I will
rock
win.
it.
That's it. Game
Yeah,
over.
she will be winning.
She will be winning. I love.
Hui, I knew you were gonna say something.
I don't know. Gold, blue, gold, black. Like those are two of my favorite color combinations for all of these all of the gods that come
Yeah,
out.
she looks very regal with these colors going on.
I think the diamond probably look cool.
I love it.
Oh,
Ooh,
Oh,
that one
yeah.
looks good.
oh yeah, that looks real nice.
Especially with how dark her hair is. I don't know. It just really goes. I love it.
The gold pattern on her.
What are they gonna do
gold
for her
shoes
hair on the
is,
diamond?
Like that contrast is perfect. So good.
So good. Absolutely perfect.
We're all waiting. We're all.
Oh
excited.
yeah,
Breath, 'cause we
there
know
it
what's
is.
coming up next.
There it is.
Yeah.
It looks so much like Artemis.
Even the arrow is
horns are
diamond.
as well.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's so sweet. This is standout for sure.
It really just like the silver on the other skin was great, right? But this is diamond.
Oh yeah, this is diamond.
This is the color it's supposed to be. Unlike the white one.
Exactly. I can't wait for Wednesday when
Lerby's already got this game.
Yeah, so I'm super excited for it. There's actually one more thing we get to show off too.
Ooh.
How about we look at our defeat screen real quick?
Oh my gosh, this is phenomenal, you guys.
Oh, we're actually nice.
So again, we go back to the rivalry between Ishtar and Gilgamesh, and here you can see them playing a bunch of games, and she is not happy when she loses.
She does not take loss lightly. If she gets beaten, it's not like oh man, I lost. It's like I'm gonna rip you apart in the next one.
Yeah, you could see her get angrier and angrier, and I just Gilgamesh's face.
I'm not a huge fan of those passives.
Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, and there's one thing here on the cards. You'll notice those cards might look a little familiar. They're kind of the T5 Izanami skin, kind of a play with some of those cards. So on the suits, so absolutely great. Ishtar is incredible. Super excited to see this happen again, August 23rd, literally Tuesday, literally next
Tuesday. That's
6 days
crazy,
away,
you guys.
Oh man, that
literally
was
won't
so
be
much.
here.
We went over so much. I mean, I have this entire phone book here that we just went through. It's incredible. I'm super excited that we were able to make it through all of that because there's so much good stuff coming. So again, keep an eye out for more SWC news coming soon because #WorldsWithFans is going down. Keep an eye out for the update.
I'm sure there's some mechanics in there.
Have all of the incredible content, including the Odyssey. Hit the buy all if you want literally 20 skins and every other cosmetic that comes out with that throughout the event. And tell us how the balance goes. Again, so much. I'm going to go after this and like inhale deeply for 45 minutes. So thank you all so much for hanging out today. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the Battleground for all of this new content next Tuesday. Thank you, everyone.
All right, chat. Quick look at the... Skim through them. So our abilities are sick. Cool skins. Tier 5, which looks rad. Skin looks freaking rad too. Quite a few good skins, honestly. But the major changes for Duel. Default art, UI, gods. All start and items will be enabled on chests. Will now be in the Jade Corruption map. Just will continue to use season 3. All starter upgrows now bound in Duel. This game mode no longer uses the non-conquest balance. Thank God, man. I was so sad about this. Thank God they reverted it. And I've been telling them to remove starters for so long. Hopefully it makes the Duel a little more fresh. I missed some of the items at the start. It seems like all pen is getting buffed, which is cool. I always like to see that. You know me.